Welcome back to the channel, Book Dragons. I'm so glad you're here with me today. And just so you know, if my voice sounds a little bit hoarse, it's because I spent a couple of days at the Phoenix Fan Fusion, which is our local Comic Con here in Phoenix. And I had an absolute blast, but my voice is pretty much shot. So if you're wondering, that's why I sound like this. But anyway, I had a wonderful time at the Phoenix Fan Fusion and saw a lot of cool stuff. Ran into a Dalek, which is pretty par for the course at Phoenix Comic Con. You'll see a picture here. And, it was just a wonderful time. I even saw somebody who I could have sworn was David Tennant. He looked exactly like the 10th Doctor. The hairstyle and everything, it was perfect. So I was pretty impressed by that. Very good costume, sir. You won't be watching this video, but it was a bang up costume. So had a really wonderful time, and I found this booth where they were selling a handmade wood TARDIS for $350. I'm like, oh man, I would love that. Do you have anything smaller? Because it was like it was a good size one. And yeah, just a really wonderful time. And so that is not the highlight of my Fan Fusion adventures. I keep wanting to call it Comic Con because it used to be called that before they stopped allowing it to be called Comic Con. San Diego copyrighted the name, and so everybody else had to change theirs. But anyway, that's a side note. The thing that was the highlight of my weekend was meeting some authors and getting some books signed. So I have a book haul for you today. It's a small book haul, but I'm going to read to you what the authors wrote to me in the books and just talk a little bit about my geeking out over the whole thing. So I'm going to put my eyes on here just so that I can read the notes that they wrote to me in the book. So the first book I got is a new author to me. I have not read any of this author's work yet, but the premise for their latest book really stood out to me. I read about it and I'm like, oh, that sounds like a really interesting premise. And that is The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. And I've heard this described as a fantasy / mystery. And guys, you know I love mysteries, so that was kind of right up my alley. And this book is just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, naked hardcover, just a beautiful design. And I'm so happy I was able to grab a copy of this. And I got to meet Robert Jackson Bennett. I'll put a picture up here on the screen so you can see my selfie with Robert Jackson Bennett. And then I'm going to read to you what he wrote to me. So let me get to that page here. All right. Now, as you can see, completely personalized there. You can maybe see that. And he said, just simple, to Charles, thank you for reading, R.J. Bennett. So I thought that was really great. He's a super nice guy, really personable, and loves to talk about his books. And guys, he mentioned that he's almost finished with the second book in this series. So if I like this book, I'll be able to pick up the next book in this series probably within the span of the next year, which is great. I love not having series that are taking too long to be released, so that'll be great, and hopefully I'll maybe get to this one sooner rather than later. It's going to go in my Stein of Power, so really excited about that one, and I've heard a lot of good things about this. I've heard a lot of good things about Robert Jackson Bennett in general, so if you're a fan of Robert Jackson Bennett, sound off in the comments, let me know, and hopefully I'll be reading that pretty soon. Alright, so the next book I want to talk about, this author captivated me with the first trilogy I read from them, and that is the Winter Night trilogy. Yes, that's right, the Bear and the Nightingale, The Girl in the Tower, and The Winter of the Witch. Fantastic series, guys. Catherine Arden is an amazing, amazing author, and she's just a really sweet and beautiful person. I mean, meeting her in person, I'll put the picture up here so you can see it. She's just really, really nice, and again, she loves to talk about her books and her stories. We talked about some of the characters from the Winter Night trilogy, and I'm just so happy I got to meet her, and it was just an amazing experience. So, without further ado, I'm going to talk about the book, and that is her latest book, The Warm Hands of Ghosts. And I've been really curious to read this. When I first saw that she had a new book coming out, I immediately knew I was going to buy it eventually and read it. And then I saw she was on the docket for Phoenix Comic Con. There I go again. Phoenix Fan Fusion. I saw that she was on the docket for the con, and I was like, oh, I am getting her signature. I am going there. I'm meeting her. I can't wait. And so I got The Warm Hands of Ghosts, and turn to the page there. Let's see. All right, so there's her personalization. You can see it there. Super excited. And she did it in red, too. That was kind of cool. It kind of fits with the motif of the book, so that was awesome. And she says, to Charles, the blessed forget and the damned remember. Maybe that's a quote from this book. And she kind of drew a little flower there, too. I thought that was kind of cool. So, very awesome to meet her. And just another thing that made my con experience that much better. And guys, I have one final book. And you're probably thinking, oh, this is a short book haul. It is. But I have to talk about my experience. You know, I have to talk about the authors I met and everything. So it's going to take a little bit of time for that. This final book that I want to talk about was a very special one for me to get signed. And I ran into a friend. You may recognize him if you follow Scott the Bald Booktuber. I'll put a picture of him, he and I together up here on the screen. I got to meet his lovely wife as well. That was cool. I met him in the line to meet none other than Robin Hobb. That's right, guys. I got to meet Robin Hobb. And so, you know, Scott and I met in the line and we were talking and stuff. So it was such a wonderful experience. I've been loving my time reading through The Realm of the Elderlings. And, you know, I haven't finished the series yet, but one of my favorite series of hers is The Live Ship Traders. I love every book in that series. And so I was able to get a copy of Ship of Magic, signed by Robin Hobb. I mean, this isn't a fancy one, right? It's just the trade paperback version. But I love the covers on these trade paperbacks. And this may inspire me to just buy the entire series in trade paperback, so I have matching sets. So this is the book I got signed, and I'll show you the personalization in here. Got it signed by Robin Hobb there. Totally cool. And she put to Charles in hopes of magic. And I love that. That's simple, catchy. It was just a wonderful time, and she's a really amazing person to talk with. I did get a picture with her as well, guys. Pictures popping up somewhere here right now, and that was just such a special experience. I think that was by far the highlight of that entire day. We got to talk about her books and the importance of her stories. And, you know, if there'd been more time, I might have done like a quick little interview with her. That would have been super cool. But one thing that she really enjoyed talking with me about was her other book, Wizard of the Pigeons, which is under her other pen name of Megan Lindholm. And I got to talk to her about my experience reading that and how memorable it was for me. And I could tell that that was a really special book for her. She just really loves to talk about that. Seattle's got a very special place in her heart. So if you guys get a chance, read The Wizard of the Pigeons. It's a great book, and I'm just so excited that I was able to get my copy of Ship of Magic signed by Robin Hobb, and just to meet her. She's such an amazing lady. Yeah, that was definitely a highlight of my day. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. This is just a very quick, short little video, but I wanted to talk about my con experience. It was great. I mean, I did other things there too. I went to a couple of shows, couple of breakout sessions. I got to go to a drag show that they had after hours there at the con, which was really an amazing experience. I'd never been to a drag show, and it was so much fun. And I had a blast. It was really, really great. So I could go on and on. So we're going to end it there, but let me know in the comments below what you thought of this video. How jealous are you? No, I'm just kidding. I don't want you to be jealous. Come on. But maybe a little jealous. No, it was just a really great time, and I'm so happy I went. And guys, I hope you have an amazing week, and make sure you're reading more books. I will talk with you very soon. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of my patrons. I appreciate all the support that you give me. It really means a lot that you support my channel.